Hello, and welcome to the 225th edition of Beer Issues. My name is Matt Bruckert. I'm coming to you live here from Casa de Bruckert. We're going to be having another outstanding local beer here from the local Lutheran church, Castle Church Brewing. And yes, it really is a Lutheran church. So, as you can see today, we're going to be having the Peasant Rebellion, which is a Bock, but it's a Maibock, also known, it could be considered a Helles, or they even call it even though I haven't heard it called this, is a Lindenbach. But most of the time I hear it called a Maibock or even a Helles, but Helles to me usually means a little bit lighter than the color of this one, so I would stick with the Maibock, okay? But I think, based on what I read, that they're about the same thing, okay? And what is it's a traditional, strong, malty Bavarian lager, okay? And as you can see, you know, the Helles will, or the Mai in the Maibock stands for May, okay, so that's when they brew it. And then the Bock, so it's a spring Bock, unlike a winter Bock, which is a little bit heavier. This is a little bit lighter, or they call Hellerbock, which means pale Bock. So I wouldn't consider this to be pale. That's why I would consider this more a Maibock than a Helles. Typically when I have a Helles, it's more of a golden brown, and this is almost like a golden color, and this is almost a red, but it's kind of a little bit less than red. Now the nice thing about this is the spring lager, and it clocks in at 7.1 or 4% alcohol by volume, which is, you know, pretty strong for just a regular Maibock. So let's go ahead and let's talk about it. Let's smell it first. And what you smell that right off the bat, that malty goodness. It's a very malty beer. Does have some hops towards the end, but it's a very mild type hop typically in a Maibock. Now, I just had this yesterday, so I'm kind of ahead of the game on, you know, the flavor profile, and I chose it because I really like the beer, and I'm pouring it in this little bitty glass, which I normally would not do. So I'm going to pour it into two of them here, so I can really get the full effect. But I'm doing it because they are the Castle Church glasses for their flights, which I bought some of these little glasses. I do like their glasses that they pour it in. They pour it in a tunic glass, which is very similar to our Oviedo Brewing Company glasses, or it's actually the same glass, just a different design. But let's go ahead and let's waste no time. Just as delicious as it was yesterday when I had it. And then I had this canned right off of the tap. So while you're at the church, and you see it's kind of cool, it's Castle Church, and then on their logo, it's got the hop with the little halo over top of it, and it says Brewing Community. So yeah, it's a non-profit brewery. It's really a neat little place. So if you ever get the chance, go there, and you can get these 16-ounce cans. As a matter of fact, it took me a little bit to get this because the guy in front of me was getting 12 of these 16-ounce cans of another kind of beer. But they must not have a big canning operation at this point because they're doing them all individually. But it's nice that you can, you know, be able to take home a nice little 16-ouncer here. So when you talk about the taste on this beer, okay, so I said it's a malty, just tastes straight up malt with just like a light hop profile. It's very accurate. It's very malty. Not like overly rich, but a good nice malty flavor. And then there's a malty sweetness to it, like you would get in a Helles. Most Helles beers have a sweetness to it. And I think it is derived from the hops, the malts that they use, but it's got a very malty sweetness to it. But then it's kind of crisp at the end, if you will, and that's from a light hop. That they use some kind of light hop. And most of the German hops are on the lighter side. So they're using some kind of real light hop that doesn't really interfere that much with the beer, but you get a nice malty sweetness. This is an excellent beer. Doesn't taste like 7.4% alcohol by volume. If I was drinking it somewhere and somebody asked me to guess, I would probably guess 4 or 5. So 7.4 is kind of surprising. Once you taste this, you'll see what I'm talking about. Like I said, a Maibock is a traditional malty lager, okay? Bavarian lager, so this one obviously is brewed here at Castle Church. And another thing that I really like about Castle Church Brewing is not only they are a church, but they love to brew German beers. It's a Lutheran church, which Lutheran church dates back to Martin Luther. They even have a beer that's based off of, they don't have it right now, but they have a beer that's based off of Martin Luther. But they have a great Kolsch, a phenomenal Kolsch called Katie's Kolsch. They have a great Hefeweizen, which they were out of yesterday, but that's okay because I've had it many, many times before. They have a great Doppelbock. They have a great Maibock, obviously, because I brought this. They even have like a German hazy IPA, which sounds odd, but it is. They use the German hops in it and all that, and it's called a Noble Heretic is the name of it. So if you're ever around, go there for a beer. Go there to hear the word on Sunday morning. Because I'm going to do it one of these days. Me and my wife have talked about doing it. We just never have. But one day we're going to go there and do the service on Sunday morning, just to see what it's all about. But I love the brewery. It's a great brewery. They make great beer. Have nothing but good things to say. Okay, so make sure you check out Castle Church because it really is an award-winning place in my book. It's one of my favorite breweries in the Orlando area. I won't say favorite, but one of my favorites. There's kind of a battle going on for favorites right now, but this is definitely right up there, okay? So if you've enjoyed this, make sure you tell your friends about Beer Issues and how much fun we're having talking about great beer and drinking great beer. Make sure if they want any cool Beer Issues gear like hats, phone cases, t-shirts, you name it, go to shop.beerissues.com. And as my wife likes to say, I have beer issues.